Long time no walkie-talkie, my friends. This is RRPG here, and welcome to my review of episode 19 of TMNT. Today's episode is about Baxter going mad and trying to destroy both the Turtles and the Shredder's mutant henchmen. Will this force both the good guys and the bad guys to cooperate in taking down the Mad Doctor? Well, you'll just have to see for yourself. This is episode 19, Baxter's Gambit. One night while on the rooftops in New York, our heroes search for the Krang, who have a device that can shrink the molecules of anything and cause them to implode. Before they stop them, Dog Pound, Fishface, the Foot, and Baxter Stockman are on another rooftop where they hope to obtain the Krang device for their own. But that crazy inventor of doom ends up getting the short end of the stick, with the mutants treating him like garbage. The Turtles and the Foot jump into action from down below, and an all-out battle against the Turtles, the Foot, and the Krang get underway. Surprisingly, this fight is pretty awesome for this three-way battle to take place. However, the Krang use their weapon as a distraction, and they get away with both the Turtles and the Foot retreating in the process. Too bad that poor old Baxter is left on the rooftop by himself. At the sewer lair, the Turtles undergo a training session to sense when an enemy strikes and how to quickly evade it as a way of knowing their foes. Leo comes out successful, but Raph gets lectured to understand why this is important. Meanwhile, at the Shredder's lair, the mutants say that their plan became flawed thanks to Baxter, and Stockman tries to make amends, saying that he has a foolproof plan already worked on, where he needs the mutants to help him out. Shredder concedes to Baxter's request, but it looks like that Baxter has bigger fish to fry with Fishface and Dog Pound. Later, the Turtles go on another night patrol over the rooftops, and they spot the mutants standing out in the open. Leo suspects that something is very fishy, but his brothers jump into action to fight them off once more. Dog Pound and Fishface end up retreating with the Turtles hot on their trail. Now, there's something I need to mention at this part. Now, at this part, the story splits up into two arcs for the episode. One of them involves the Turtles, and the other involves both April and Splinter back at the sewer lair. I'll talk about them separately for you guys to better understand what is going on. First off with the Turtles. The Turtles manage to find the mutants in an abandoned building where they hope to fight them off for real this time. However, they end up getting themselves into a trap with the mutants, and Baxter reveals himself to know that he has a plan to get rid of his enemies, including Dog Pound and Fishface. This infuriates the two, but they are sent down into the maze, along with our heroes. A brief scuffle occurs with the two sides, but Leo notices that laser traps are occurring and coming close onto them. Both sides manage to dodge and end up finding a way to get out. Near the end of the first round, they end up fighting against air sentries that try to hurt them with laser projectiles. Too bad those machinations end up getting fried. The two groups continue to go forward, but Dog Pound notices that they have been going in circles all this time. Too bad for them, as a metal wall separates the crew, with Raphael and Fishface in one group while the others are in the other. This forces both teams to work together throughout the rest of the time. In the process of avoiding the traps and such, Raph asks Fishface how he became what he is, and we are treated to a backstory about Zever's past to where he got recruited by Oroku Saki's services. It seems that the camaraderie between the two is strong, even if they are foes. However, they end up reuniting with the other group and manage to make it out of the maze. They end up having a huge battle with Baxter along with his giant robot and Mousers, and the hero-enemy union manages to come out on top, with Baxter retreating in the process. Now, on the side with April and Splinter. April's training continues to improve, where she asks Yoshi when she'll use a weapon. Splinter says her mind is the most powerful weapon she has, but understands when April asks when someone uses their head as a weapon in combat. They end up going through a sequence of training sessions with the weapons, where April tries out a staff with a metal chain attached, a spiked club, and a pair of comma sickles with no luck. Next, she tries out a chain with two metal balls, but accidentally flings it to the portrait of Yoshi and his family. April apologizes and asks who the people are in the picture. Splinter says that they are him, his wife, and baby daughter, who he claims that she would have been about the same age as April by now, not to mention that she reminds him of his daughter because of her kindness. The Ninja Master goes into his room to fetch a fan for April, and says that it was supposed to be for his daughter when she grew up and achieved her coming of age, but after demonstration of what the weapon does, makes April believe that she has found her weapon of choice. Finally, back at Baxter's hideout, the Turtles and the mutants are too tired to fight each other because of their cooperation against the deranged Doctor, and they end up saving their battle for another time. Mikey admits to Raph that he and Zever made a pretty good team, but Raph insists that they are still enemies, and he'll take them down when he gets the chance. Fishface ends up throwing one of Baxter's balls with the laser shredder projectiles towards Leo, but Raph catches it with his sai and tells his brothers to trust their senses and they'll see their enemies coming. Fishface smiles wickedly at Raph's act, and walks away with Dog Pound while the Turtles see them leave. Episode 19 ends off at that point. Man, what an episode. 2 story arcs for the price of 1? That was a shell of a good time, fans. let's get the routine out of the way and I'll let you go, alright? First off, my favorite thing about the episode is the cooperation between the Turtles and the Shredder's mutant henchmen. This episode is a total throwback to the 1987 series in the episode called Case of the Killer Pizzas, where the pizza monsters cause havoc in the sewers to where they threaten the Turtles and Shredder, but they end up having to cooperate throughout the whole manor. Not to mention, this episode is also a throwback to the 2003 series episode called Bishop's Gambit, with similar plot elements as well. I just love the fact that even there are times when allies and enemies must work together to get themselves out of the stickiest situations as possible. It always reminded me of the X-Men when they teamed up with the Brotherhood of Mutants to take down Apocalypse, or even when Spider-Man teams up with Venom to take down Carnage. I guess there is a saying that you should keep your friends close, but keep your enemies closer. Which is why Raph manages to work well with Fishface and destroy his weapon at the end with his side. For a change of pace between the two sides fighting, it was really good. Second, the story arc with April finding her weapon was also very special. Not only do we see her get the weapon that suits her, but we see an evolution in her character development when training to be a Kunoichi under Splinter's tutelage. Just the fact that she ends up becoming the successor to the Yoshi clan Tessen, which is fan in Japanese by the way, is more like a nostalgic bond between the master and his student as if they were truly father and daughter. It's very touching to see them with what all April accomplishes and learns from her sensei. Next up, the whole bit with Baxter ending up calling his weapons and machinations under the term Doom becomes pretty funny. The Turtles tease him for it, and it also ends up boring them and the mutants when the term is used up too much. It's like they need to have a joke on both sides from time and again to mix things up. Probably the last thing that is very positive is the quote-unquote playdate that Raphael and Fishface had to where they end up having this wicked rivalry throughout the beginning, but ended up working together to reunite with the others. Not to mention, we learn a bit more about Zevr's past to fully understand why he is the man he is now. It makes your liking toward the character improve as you can like him for what he is, hate him for his ways, and understand him for his past. The episode has many great qualities that it's hard to determine what some of those negatives are, which there aren't a whole lot to begin with. Probably my two biggest complaints have to be the uninspired maze and the contraptions within it. The reason I felt that the maze was not that fun is because it's all in black and white, to mimic that of the trap that was used in one of the episodes of the Teen Titans. Now, I know some of you may say that the color red is in there, but that is only for the laser projectiles coming out of the balls, the guns, or the turrets, and the swinging axes. It's just that the whole idea behind the creation could have been a bit more creative with color and unique design to make the maze more inspiring. Those are my two big issues with the episode, as it's mostly glistening with turtle power. As I said, it is usually great to see the good guys and the bad guys fight each other, but sometimes a break is needed for something that can turn out to be fun and enjoyable in the end. Episode 19 is awarded a perfect 10 out of 10. I would say that this episode is nearly on par with the quality of episode 9, as we have a fun and wholesome experience like episode 11. It's definitely turning out to be another one of my favorites by far. With all that out of the way, that is a wrap on this review of the 2012 Ninja Turtles cartoon. Tune in next time as we tackle episode 20 called Enemy of My Enemy. Karai returns to possibly forge an alliance to stop the Shredder, but there could be some sugarcoating on her end that we may not know about. You'll have to wait and see what happens. Anyway, be sure to rate this video and favorite it, as well as leaving your positive and negative feedback in the comments below. Also, be sure to hit that subscribe button because more support from you guys means more content is coming from me in the future. This is RRPG signing off, and I'll catch you guys next time. Turtle Power!